If you've tried courses, books, coaching, meditation, maybe manifestation, therapy, retreats, journaling, and spiritual practices of various kinds, and the same patterns still keep coming back, the Abundant Self program may be what you've been looking for. Because at some point, the problem isn't lack of information. You may already understand a lot about yourself. You may know where your people-pleasing came from. You may recognize your fear of failure, your overthinking, your self-sabotage, or your tendency to avoid the things that you say that you want. And still, when pressure comes, the old patterns just take over. And that is the place the Abundant Self works from. It's for people who are seriously frustrated because insight simply hasn't become freedom. You understand the pattern intellectually, yet your body still reacts from it. You know what you want, yet action still freezes. You want more confidence, abundance, of course, visibility, freedom, creativity, or direction. Yet something inside keeps pulling your choices back into the old shape. And that doesn't mean that you've failed. It means the pattern may sit a lot deeper than you thought. The Abundant Self works with the body, the nervous system, various emotional patterns, energy, awareness, identity, and daily behavior. It isn't a positive thinking course, and it isn't a surface level abundance method. It's a structured process for seeing what's been running you from underneath for all of these years. And that matters because many of the patterns people struggle with are in fact connected. Money anxiety may connect to old insecurities. Creative blocks may connect to fear of visibility. Procrastination may protect against criticism. Overgiving may come from the need to stay needed. Low confidence may grow out of early messages that taught you to doubt yourself. And from the outside, these look like separate problems, but actually underneath, they may belong to one deeper structure. The Abundant Self is for people who are ready to see that structure clearly. Some people come because they know they're stuck. The same problems have repeated so many times that they're tired of working at the surface. They want something deeper, more honest, and more practical. Other people come because they've already done plenty of inner work. They may meditate, coach, teach, create, lead, or support others. They may not feel broken or in crisis. They come because they want more depth, more coherence, or a more serious spiritual framework. And then the work turns the mirror back on them. Because unresolved material can in fact hide behind competence. A capable person may still avoid visibility. A teacher may still struggle to receive support. Someone who understands emotional patterns may still react from an old protective identity when life presses the right button. One participant, who I'll call Elizabeth, had already done significant inner work before joining the program. She'd had previous awakenings and carried a serious interest in spiritual development. During the program, something deeper began to reorganize for her. She described the work as more grounded, balanced, and coherent than anything she'd experienced before. And then a pattern became visible. Elizabeth loved art and creative expression, but she'd struggled with creative blocks for years. Every time she tried to create, an internal survival voice interrupted her. It told her to focus on security and money. It treated joy and creativity as completely irresponsible. As she stayed with the work that we were doing, she traced that voice back to childhood messages. She'd learned that fun didn't matter, that study and security had to come first, and that pleasure, well, that could wait. The pattern also affected visibility. Art, public expression, and being seen all activated fear. She wanted freedom and independence, but her nervous system had learned to associate independence with danger. That is what this work can reveal, the thing beneath the thing. The issue stops being vague anxiety, low confidence, or creative blocks. It becomes specific. It has a voice. It has roots. It has consequences. Once you can see it clearly, you can begin working with it directly. The abundant self is for people ready for identity level change. Some patterns become so familiar that they start to feel like your personality. Someone says, I'm just cautious. Another says, I'm bad with money. Someone else says, I'm not confident. Another says, I always put others first. Those statements may be hiding something a lot deeper. Caution may come from fear. Money anxiety may come from inherited insecurity. Lack of confidence may come from early criticism. Overgiving may come from the need to stay needed. And this program helps you question the identity behind the behavior and begin experiencing yourself very differently. And that is where abundance comes in. In the abundant self, abundance includes money, work, security, and opportunity, but it also includes confidence, freedom, creativity, emotional steadiness, clearer decisions, healthier relationships, better boundaries, and greater self-trust. For Elizabeth, abundance meant independence, creative expression, and the freedom to stop waiting for other people before living her life. For someone else, it may mean asking for more, changing direction, allowing visibility, leaving a draining pattern, or creating work that reflects who they really are. The abundant self gives you structure, teaching, guided practices, workbooks, group support, energetic work, and phase intensives. It also asks you to participate. Practice matters. Reflection matters. Paying attention between sessions matters, because that's where your patterns live. A breakthrough in a session is important. Your next response to fear, doubt, avoidance, overgiving, self-protection, or visibility matters just as much. The program doesn't require a religious identity, years of meditation experience, or a background in any particular tradition. It does ask for openness. It may be right for you if the same pattern has returned often enough that you're ready to approach it differently. It may be right if all your insights hasn't created the change that you expected. It may be right if something inside you wants more honesty, coherence, freedom, creativity, confidence, or direction. The real question is whether you're ready to see what has been running the patterns and build the inner conditions for clarity, confidence, abundance, and self-trust to become more stable. If you're curious but not ready to join the program just yet, start with the Abundance Archetype Quiz. If the program already feels relevant, read the full program page for the structure, dates, payment options, and joining details. And if you're unsure whether it's the right fit for you, contact me. I'm very happy to have a conversation. We can look at where you are, what keeps repeating, and whether the abundant self is in fact the right next step for you.